Alright, so what is up, guys? Today, we're gonna do a different kind of video. We're gonna do a story time video. Now, I usually don't make videos like this, or actually have never made a video like this. But I want to see what's up. I want to give it a try. I want to see if you guys enjoy this kind of format, this kind of video. If you do, make sure to drop a follow, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to like this video. So, without a further ado, this is my story. Alright, so I'm gonna take you guys a step by step of how this day happened, okay? It was kind of a crazy day. Never expected for this to happen. I'd never planned for it before. Keep in mind, I was in 8th grade. I was a 12-year-old child, okay? Experimenting with different things, and I just didn't have this in the books at all. Alright, so this fateful evening, it was actually a school day. And the thing is that I had actually moved to this school previously. I think it had been a couple months that I had moved to this school. It was a very short time that I was at this school. The reason why I had moved is because in my previous schools, I did deal with bullying. So when I moved to this school, it was kind of a fresh start for me. Something that, would really help me. Nobody really knew me there. I think I only had one other friend there that I had gone with to a different elementary school. But besides that, absolutely nobody there knew me, which was perfect. It was a clean slate. In my other school, I was known as this annoying type of kid, Nobody really liked talking to me. Nobody really socialized with me per se. And I honestly couldn't really blame them. I was honestly a weird kid. I was a pretty weird kid. But listen. That does not give any excuse to bully somebody. Anyways, besides the point, right? I was at this new school. I didn't really have many new friends, but I did have this one friend. And for the sake of this video, we're going to call him Frank, right? So Frank was my friend at that school. He was honestly the only person I really clicked with right away. We would hang out every single day, right? So I knew that Frank smoked weed. I did. I knew this. And in my other school, I thought if you smoked weed, you were like the devil. You were an idiot. There is no way that you're smoking weed and you're still a sane person. You are the devil himself. You know what I mean? Like, my parents are very, very strict. They do not agree with the idea of weed being legal. They don't agree with anything like that. Keep in mind, I'm in California. It's an extremely weed positive state, right? Keeping in mind that this is my friend, and he smokes weed, and I used to not be okay with that, but now I'm kind of in between boundaries, He introduces me to a couple of other friends. Besides Frank, we're gonna call the other friends, we'll call them Joseph and Steve, right? Steve, I actually still know to this day. The other two, I don't really talk to them. But there was also this other girl that Joseph was seeing at the time, right? So slowly but surely, we ended up creating this little group that final day. So this day, it was completely unplanned. We had stood outside in front of the school, and we all lived pretty close to the school. So we were like, let's just go walking. So we were like, all right, bet. We all just started heading that way. We started walking. And keep in mind, I lived in an apartment complex not too far away from there. They were kind of like condos. It was kind of a nice neighborhood, But yeah, I had a couple other two friends that lived around that area. So we all decided to start walking, right? And as we're walking, my friend says, hey, I actually just got 2 grams. I'm like, 2 grams? What are they talking about, And my other friend's like, oh, sick, we should spark up, And I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy, Like, that's kind of insane. And my homie Steve, he decides to ask me, yo, bro, have you ever smoked weed before? I'm like, no, never done it, Just being honest, being kind of naive about it, I was like, I've heard of it, I have friends who smoke it, but I've never smoked it myself. Well, he invites me on his behalf. He's like, hey, come on, let's get this dude high. It's going to be his first time. It's going to be fun, And we're all dumb, by the way. We're like 12, 13 years old. All just standing outside of a middle school, by the way. And as we're walking back, there's a playground right next to the middle school. And so we're like, perfect. That's the spot. Nobody in that time is ever going to the playground, not right after class. So we're like, okay, perfect. That's our spot, you know. So we head over to the playground. My homies, they pull out like this little grinder, you know. It was a little cheap ass plastic grinder, some shit that, you know, you would buy for 99 cents at any smoke shop, you know what I mean? So he pulls out this tiny little grinder. He puts in the most whack fucking dry pieces of weed you've seen in your entire life. But keep in mind, we think this shit's gas. Why? We're in middle school. You know what I mean? Anything at that time is pure fucking gas, you know? So he puts them inside the grinder. He grinds it up. It's all fucking stanky. And my dad always told me, dude, that shit stinks. That shit reeks. It's nasty. I could smell it from a mile away. So keep in mind, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? If I smoke this shit and go back home, I'm gonna be reeking, you know? But I take the risk. I told my homies about this, and they're like, don't worry. We got deodorant. We got fucking cologne. We got everything you need. You're not gonna get caught, you know what I mean? So me being a dumbass kid, I'm like, all right, bet, you know. So we decide to smoke out this little pipe. I swear to God, it looks like a crack pipe, dude. But it's this tiny little glass pipe, right? So we're smoking out of that shit. And I still remember, we took that shit inside of a crevice next to the fucking park, dude. Next to the fucking park. This little glass pipe inside of like one of the rocks there. I still remember us trying to find like the perfect spot, and we see this crack, and we're like, perfect. Nobody would ever think to look in here, but we're dumbass middle schoolers. We're like, what? But what if like the canines come out here, and what if like fucking cops start searching us for fucking weed? Keep in mind, we're middle schoolers, and we're thinking like, holy shit, this is probably some fucking like Scarface shit, you know, DEA is gonna be on our ass, you know what I mean? But nah, dude. So we tuck that little thing away after we get done smoking everything, you know, and we start heading back home. But my two homies, they're waiting for their ride. The girl, she's waiting for her ride. And the other two kids that live in the apartment complex with me, the other one kid that lives in the apartment complex with me, he's walking with me, right? So all five of us are walking back to my place, you know. And I'm like, dude, like, I can't take you guys back home. My mom is extremely fucking strict. If she smells the weed, she's gonna fucking blow a gasket. Well, they did not care. Peer pressure to the max, by the way. Listen, in some cases I believe in peer pressure, in other cases I don't. Peer pressure is definitely real, alright? And in this case, it was most definitely real. Because I was trying to look cool in front of my new friends at this new school. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, my mom is chill, you know? But inside my head, I'm like, she will fucking explode if she finds out. You know what I mean? Well, we get there, and it went all according to plan. My mom didn't smell anything besides cologne on all four kids that smelled the exact same. Don't know how she didn't pick up on that. Probably gonna use that when I'm older. You know what I mean? When I have my own kids. But yeah, we got away with it. My mom still offers them like spaghetti and stuff, and she tries to talk to me in the hall because my mom, keep in mind, she would not accept anybody over at this time, right? Like, this is a point in my life where I was extremely sheltered as a kid, and even up until high school, I was extremely sheltered. So my mom would never, ever, ever let me have friends over unless she for sure knew their parents. And I was always too scared to introduce my mom to their parents, and my friends were always too scared to introduce their parents to my mom. So it was just a bad match. I would never get that kind of experience, you know? But this day, I don't know what it was. My mom was just in a good mood. So we get home. They're actually planning on going to the pool. My mom and my siblings. They're planning on going to the pool. Keep in mind, we live in a condo. We had a public pool, you know what I mean? So yeah, they're planning on going to the pool. My mom's like, oh yeah, there's spaghetti right there in the kitchen. Y'all can get some if you want. And we're like, thank you very much. So all of us, we head to my room. I had a PS4 at the time. We all head to my room. We put on some fucking dumbass, like, weed movie. I think it was, fuck, what was it, bro? It was that one fucking movie with Lil Yachty. I forget the name of the movie. It'll come back to me later. I'll probably pop it up on screen, but yeah. Yeah, we ended up watching that movie. We were all just sitting inside my room, and I just thought to myself, I smell like weed. It's probably in my fucking hair. I know it. I'm gonna get caught, you know. Well, what I decided to do, while my friends were there, by the way, I'm like, I'm gonna go take a shower. They're like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna go take a shower. Y'all stay here. I'll be right back. Well, I hop inside the fucking shower. I did not give a shit who was there, you know what I mean? I hop inside the shower. And I do my business, you know. I'm over here, like, getting all clean, scrubbing up. And I hop out of the shower. I'm get all my clothes on, you know. And I destroy that fucking spaghetti like there was no tomorrow. And luckily, I never got caught for this shit. This is one of the few stories that actually ends in a good ending. Never got caught. Never had to face the consequences. But keep in mind, there is more stories where I definitely did. Anyways, if you like this story, please leave a like. Please subscribe. And let me know in the comments down below if you want to hear more of this, you know. If you want to hear more stories like this. If you want to hear more rants of my childhood, you know what I mean. Anyways, thank you guys so much for enjoying. And I'll see you guys later.